The Elevator's Secret, the murder of Lisa Lam. It was the year 2013 when the strange disappearance of Elisa Lam caught the world's attention. The 21-year-old Canadian student vanished while staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. What started as a missing persons case quickly turned into one of the most chilling mysteries of our time. Elisa's last known sighting was in the hotel's elevator. The surveillance footage was released to the public, and it showed Elisa behaving erratically, pressing all the buttons, peeking out of the elevator, hiding in the corner, and gesticulating as if speaking to an unseen entity. The doors refused to close for an unnaturally long time, and when they finally did, Elisa was nowhere to be seen. Weeks passed with no leads until guests at the hotel began complaining about the water. It was discolored, had a foul taste, and the pressure was low. A maintenance worker went to check the water tanks on the roof and made a horrifying discovery. Elisa Lam's body was floating lifelessly in one of the tanks. The official story claimed accidental drowning, but the circumstances were bizarre. The tanks were difficult to access, requiring a heavy lid to be moved, and Elisa had no apparent way to get there without triggering alarms or bypassing locked doors. Theories about her death ranged from psychotic episodes to sinister foul play, but no conclusive evidence was found. Years after Elisa's death, strange occurrences continued at the Cecil Hotel. Guests reported seeing a young woman in red wandering the halls, sometimes appearing in their rooms. She would stare blankly before vanishing into thin air. The elevator where Elisa was last seen began to behave strangely. Doors would open and close randomly, and some claimed they saw a shadowy figure standing behind them in the mirror. One night, a curious hotel guest named Tom decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight and a camera, he ventured into the elevator and pressed the same sequence of buttons Elisa did in the infamous footage. The elevator jerked and descended to the basement, a floor that wasn't supposed to exist. The doors opened to a dark, damp corridor lined with rusty pipes. Tom hesitated but stepped out, feeling an inexplicable pull. As he moved further down the corridor, he heard whispers, faint but growing louder. The air grew colder, and his breath fogged in front of him. He turned a corner and saw a figure standing in the shadows, a young woman in a red jacket. "Elisa?" he called out, his voice echoing off the walls. The figure turned slowly, revealing a face twisted in agony and fear. "Help me," she whispered, her voice echoing with otherworldly resonance. Tom's flashlight flickered and died, plunging him into darkness. Panic surged through him, but before he could turn back, something grabbed his arm. He felt a cold, clammy hand and heard Elisa's voice, desperate and urgent. "Don't let it take you," she pleaded. "It's hungry for more." Tom wrenched free and bolted back to the elevator. The doors closed just as a shadowy figure reached out to grab him. As the elevator ascended, he heard a guttural growl and the sound of scratching on metal. When the doors opened again, he was back in the lobby, trembling and drenched in sweat. He left the Cecil Hotel that night, vowing never to return. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister still lurked within its walls, something that had claimed Elisa Lam and was waiting for its next victim. The elevator remained silent, but every so often, someone would hear the faint sound of water dripping and the whisper of a young woman lost between worlds, warning them to stay away.